This is Bruce Hamilton, and when I'm not educating my opponents with lessons in pain, I'm right here listening to the Sit Down Marks podcast.
Hey, yo.
If I can be serious for a minute.
Oh, yeah. Acknowledge me. Hey, what's happening, everybody? Come on in, sit down, Marks Mafia, because it's time for a brand new episode of the flagship Sit Down Marks podcast. Welcome, everybody. Episode number 183 of the Sit Down Marks podcast. Today, we're going to be talking best baby faces in wrestling. You know, who's getting the sympathy from the crowd, who is selling tickets, who is, pushing those storylines forward, man. So let's talk about our top five of those of what's going on right now in professional wrestling. So it's going to be a good one, man. I'm excited. Let's bring in the boys. What's happening, my guys? Primo and Dylan. Primo, how you doing today, brother?
Pretty good. Another day on this side of the grass is always a good one. Another episode here with the Sit Down Marks podcast, the flagship, the Hall of Fame podcast, that is. So, no, I'm happy to be here. Happy to talk some baby faces today. Let's get it going.
Primo, I don't know if you realize this, man, but the next time we go live together, brother, the next time we see each other is going to be a 5-year anniversary podcast. We'll be just over 200 episodes. I put the math together and did the numbers, not the Steiner math, the actual numbers, and put it together, and roughly, man, around 210 episodes. We've been cranking out close to 48 to 50 episodes a year since we started, man. So
that is actually crazy. I mean, it's wild when you stop and think, especially those first few years where we were doing weekly. Oh man, we were grinding, and we still are. It's exciting that we've got 5 years down coming up, and I mean, look at all that's happened. I mean, obviously, we'll talk more about it on the anniversary show, but you can just look back at everything that's happened.
Absolutely, man. Especially if you've been listening from the beginning, man. You can see a lot that's happening here lately. But let's bring in the front row sitter, not the flagpole sitter, the front row sitter, green hat guy, Dylan. What's happening, brother?
Oh, what's going on, boys? We're vibing and thriving over here. Been doing a lot of driving. Guys, I gotta say, you guys are the married ones. You guys have your families and whatever, but I had the best Valentine's Day weekend. Like, single guy Valentine's Day, hitting up wrestling shows, going to restaurants that are empty because all the couples are at like the fancy restaurants. Like, it was the best.
Taco Bell ain't a restaurant, man.
Close enough. No. Wendy's maybe.
Yeah. I could win my wife over with a Mexican pizza. So
I'm telling you, man.
Well, hey, there you go.
Like, I really do think it's universal. My wife used to hate it, and like, I got her into eating Taco Bell because I'm like, man, you can find something. I don't know what it is, man. It just is. You know what I mean?
I don't want to know what it is.
We don't.
There's something. I don't want to know what it is, but it's good.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So look at there. Now all of a sudden I'm hungry, craving a burrito supreme. Here we are.
Right.
Damn it, Dylan. You and your
they wouldn't sponsor us.
You and your single ways. Oh God, you kidding me with a right? You imagine with like us with a Taco Bell sponsorship.
Oh, eat a quesarito on stream every time.
My God, yeah. Get me that Taco Bell soundbite. I want that bell
on
my board.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Right. Oh man. Can you believe it though, man? Can you believe it? Like, I'm excited for the next time we go live, man. It's gonna be awesome. So if you're gonna check out any podcast, if you watch live or listen, if you usually listen, I want to recommend that you watch the next one live. Or the 5-year anniversary live. It's going to be fun. There's going to be some surprises, and that kind of stuff. So if you're any sort of fan, we understand you can't make it, and you can always go back and watch the replay, obviously. But on sitdownmarks.com, cheap plug. No, it's not cheap. It's my own podcast. Fuck it, right? Sitdownmarks.com.
This is where we do it.
But But yeah, check that one out. But anyway, enough of me gabbing, man. You guys ready to go, man? We got a lot to talk about here.
Let's go.
In the world
Yes,
of
sir.
wrestling. All right, Primo, if you're ready, brother, just like we've been doing for almost 5 years now, it's hot start time, man. 5 topics in the world of pro wrestling. Let's get it. Topic number 1, my friends. You know, I didn't know, you know, I usually try not to hate too much, right? Because, you know, everybody's got a thing for wrestling, but, you know, I'm going to give a little love on something that I've hated a lot. Last Friday on SmackDown, I watched the best Nia Jax match I've ever seen in my life. The one where she teamed up with Last Legend to go against Rio. Show me a better Nia match than that one. If you didn't watch it. That one was fire. That one was fire. It was good. I was actually like into it. You could tell Nia was bumping everywhere. You know what I mean? I was like, all right, she got her shoes on today. We're working. You know what I mean? I was like, all right. You know what I mean? So, you know, I like to give credit back where credit's due, whether it be just a great match, whether it be she's been putting work in, whether it be, you know, just, you know, she caught lightning in a bottle for her for a minute, you know what I mean? Whatever, you know, but it is what it is. You guys catch that match? And are you, anybody agree with me?
So a couple things. Number one, her pairing with Last Legend has been great. They complement each other very well. They're both
so too, brother.
2 Haas women, if you will. And not only that, but Nia Jax has been putting in the work lately. You can tell she's been getting pretty fit. And you can tell in the ring. I mean, she's clearly feeling pretty good. Like you said, she's bumping around the ring and stuff.
Sure.
No, I think in just all around, her and Lash, I think overall have been a pretty good tag team.
Yeah, it's a good way to bring in Lash too, to hug up next to Nia too. Don't you think, Dylan?
Yeah, I agree. Good pairing, good match. You know, good opponents. It's hard to top Rhea and Io. Make sure I said that right. Yeah, Rhea and Io. This whole thing really has me wondering where they're going, because like a couple weeks ago, I said tag team elimination chamber. Or that's not where they're going. I got that one wrong. But like, so are we heading to Mania? The Bellas came back and they've been off TV for a couple weeks, so they're going to be around. Are the Kabuki Asukas in the chamber? Charlotte and Alexa are in the chamber. Are they going to come back to the tag division? Are we looking at some, you know, like 6-team match at Mania? Heard some people throwing out TLC, which I don't know if that's the case or not, but they did have the tables on Friday. If we can just get some, you know, table or ladders and chairs, maybe that's a direction. But like, you know, first time ever seems like a stretch, but it might be true. Like first time ever, there's a bunch of really top teams in the women's tag division, and it's cool and it's interesting. And it's fun, and I'm excited to see where they're going next.
Yeah. 2 things about that. Number one, I think Charlotte and Alexa about run its course. I mean, I like them as a team a lot, but I think
I'd agree.
They're getting close to their breakup. But also, they've been focusing so many women on tag teams. I don't feel like there's a whole lot for the singles.
Sure. Yeah.
No, I get that. Yeah,
they have the both women's world titles plus the Intercontinental and U.S. title.
Yeah, the U.S. title's just kind of floating over there.
Right.
They're at least keeping like Becky and whoever Becky is with at the time right now, AJ, whoever. They keep that one kind of propped up. You know, Stephanie's always going to be doing something with her title, and Jade's been on TV a lot, but has like 1 title defense. So like it, yeah, you're right, Primo. When you put that much focus on the tag and the people we've named off, you know, Charlotte, Alexa, Rhea, Io, Nia, even, you know, there's a bunch of heavy hitters in there. So it's a balancing act. You put focus on one thing and you bring it off the other. Yeah.
I forgot to mention that too. That's another one that people have mentioned in the past. If you guys go back and remember the Batista Rey Mysterio tag team where they're best friends and Batista ends up annihilating Rey, they're saying people are like, "Oh, that's going to be the Rhea Io storyline."
It's got to be right.
Yeah.
Looking
that way. Yeah.
That one just has to. That one just has to make sense to me. All right, topic number 2, boys. So let's circle back on LA Knight for just a second. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It seems to be like he's the darling right now. Like when I'm watching, like, you know, he's the Daniel Bryan from years ago. You know, he's the Finn Balor from years ago. He's, you know, maybe not on those levels yet, but getting there. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like it feels like that's his time right now. And part of me kind of just wants to like keep it going without him winning a title or something like that, because kind of once he wins the title, it's over. Kind of usually, you know what I mean? But you know, my question is, should they let LA ride for a while, or should they let him have some sort of big mania moment with like the IC title or the, you know, obviously I don't think he's going to be in the big picture unless it's a triple threat or something like that. You know what I mean? But, you know, what should they do with him? Should they pop him right now at Mania or let it ride for a little while longer?
I mean, I don't know. I feel like every year we say this is, you know, this is it. This is it. This is it for LA Knight's year. I mean, and this has been that way since he came back. And I remember we were all bummed when he was Max Dupree. And then we came back to his LA Knight. We were hyped and excited to see where he'd go. But it kind of sucks to think that, you know, he's just not going to be, you know, one of the top belts right now. But I don't know. I think I'm with you on keeping it going till at least Mania.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see how long they can keep it going because of what Primo just said. Like, it feels like he's been right there, like just under that title spot for what, a year or 2 years now, something like that.
Yeah.
But the crowd's still there. So like it's not like it's already dead and they're just trying to keep him on life support. No, the crowd's still there. You know, I think that time off into last year, beginning of this year may have been good. Get him off TV for a little bit. And when he comes back at the Rumble, it's not the surprise we're looking for at the Rumble, but it's still a good surprise. And
right.
You know, that he is in the chamber. We're all just kind of assuming it's going to be Drew and Cody, but it could be LA Knight and Cody, and they could go with, or LA Knight and Drew, excuse me, and they could go with Cody and Fatu or something like that. I think he'll be involved. He still has to get his revenge on the Vision and Bronson Reed specifically.
Sure.
I'm really curious to know, like, if he has any involvement with the masked man they got floating around right now.
Have you guys seen his shirt?
The what?
It says Unchosen on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I think they have plans for him, which is good.
Yeah.
I hope they just do eventually pull the trigger, and it's not just like this constant purgatory of almost there, but not quite.
Right. So did you guys see the rumblings online today about Bad Bunny possibly being the mask?
Yeah.
Please no.
Yeah. There's like two camps on that. There's Grayson Waller, and then somebody. I saw what you were saying.
Yeah.
About Bad Bunny.
Also, too, I don't know if this is true or not. I just kind of laughed, but I saw a guy like he did like a post thing about it on Instagram, in that WWE partnership with Dude Wipes. And it must have like just happened, and he was just like, man.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, whatever. Anyway, it's a great product. All right, let's move on, boys. All right, topic number 3, man. This is a fun one. Let's talk about my boy Dustin Rhodes here, man.
Yeah.
So Dustin Rhodes, right? I feel like he's like one of the last guys that's left from that era that I grew up. Like I still remember Dustin in my brain. He's as a tall string bean, black trunks, you know, boots, you know, red and white boots, you know what I mean? And just, you know, lariats and bulldogs and clotheslines, and you know what I mean? And like, I just love to see that, like, you know, stuff that he does, like when he's doing it, like outside of the ring. Cause I kind of get inspired by him a little bit, because like, I've never seen this guy do anything that he doesn't love. And like, so right now, if you're watching on YouTube and Facebook, we have a picture up of him with his, I think it's like a Mastiff
Beast from Sandlot.
Yeah, this dude is, it's a huge dog. It won like so anyway, he's been getting he's become like a dog shower. He's gotten a lot of first place ribbons.
Beautiful dog.
Yeah, and this got online today because he got invited to like the World Dog show, wherever it's at, but it's over in Birmingham in the UK, and
Birmingham.
and I just thought it was cool, and I was just thinking, man, this is awesome. Like, he's gonna put this big dog on a plane to get all the way over there across the pond.
Shit.
You know what I mean? And but I'm just like, man, like I could see him living with like 5 of these in his house. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, man. Like I don't know, man. He's just like one of those dudes. When I see him, man, he just makes me happy, dude. Like he's whether it's him or I remember him as Gold Dust, or if it's whether I remember him as what was the awful Silver
Black Rain.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
you know what I mean. Like
yeah.
The memory stuff, like and then back to the old days, and just like I don't know. I like to see people
King of the Road match.
doing well after wrestling, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But man,
They got another world champion in the Rhodes family.
world
champion dog over there. Yeah. Like on that note though, DB, like you think about his whole story, and like
right
15 years ago, something like that or so, we thought he was done. Like the little story that he and Cody had with the Shield and Randy and the Authority at that time, like this was like at the time, and when these air quotes, like old man Goldust coming back, to help out his little brother. And the fact that he's added a whole, I don't want to say second run because he's had so many, a whole, 5th run in that time with WWE, doing stuff with them, and then moving over to AEW and the match with Cody to kick off AEW. And last year, winning the TNT, I believe it was, title in Dallas at the big show they did. And like, incredible career, the ups and the downs, and go all the way back, to the 90s wrestling with Dusty on WWF, and then where he is now. Just insane story.
Yeah, pretty damn cool. All right,
that had me hyped, dude. Win the title in Texas.
Yeah, that was pretty sick, man. Yeah, and like I felt like they got me on that one too. I didn't see that one coming. Yeah. All right, topic number 4, boys. As released just today, AEW bringing Double or Nothing to Queens, New York, May 24th at the Louis Armstrong Stadium, which, if you don't know, is the tennis complex. Basically, I think things seat about 15,000. I think is what it was.
This is the same place they've ran in New York before, right? They used to do like the
Arthur
Grand
Ashe.
Slam or something there. Okay, that's where it was. It was Arthur Ashe. You're right.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I thought it's pretty cool. People can say what you want to. AEW can't sell out, big arenas, blah blah, that kind of stuff. Man, give me these smaller arenas like this in my wrestling. I mean, we come from indie wrestling. You know what I mean?
Right.
We're different. We come from a different cloth. We're used to being packed in small, spaces to watch wrestling. You know what I mean? So maybe it's because we, lean a little more towards that. But shoot, man, give me places like this all day for big pay-per-views. Like it's going to be sick, man, because the way those places are set up, like the grandstands are very angled high. You get a good angle as long as they don't build some fucking big ass contraption that blocks your view.
New York's usually a good crowd. I was trying to think in my head. I was trying to figure out if this was Memorial Day weekend, because the Sunday pay-per-views for AEW, those can get long when you got to be up for work the next day. New York's a good crowd. If it just being extremely selfish here, if it's not like St. Louis, it's all the same. Like, if it's not someplace I can go, I don't really care where it's at. I'm not going. I'm going to watch it on TV anyway. But yeah, New York's a good crowd. I like it. I'm not doing Vegas. I feel like this one, Double or Nothing, I feel like it was just stuck to Vegas for a couple years. So I kind of like seeing it float around, get them on more places, more markets. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
About a month before that, they're going to be here, like down the road, literally down the road from me at George Mason
Awesome.
College.
You gonna go?
Yeah.
I'm thinking about it.
Heck
I've
yeah.
never been to an AEW show, so
Do it, man. Do it. I mean, it'll feel similar, but just different.
Yeah.
Get you a sit down Mark's press pass and like go interview
That'd be
TK.
so sick.
Boom.
Let me contact George Mason.
Yeah.
Like,
All right. Topic number 5. Dylan, tell us about your TNA experience, man.
Oh,
You got to
gosh.
TNA last weekend. So tell us what you were going to, what happened while you were there, and then tell us your experience.
Okay, yeah. So this is a taping for the next 2 weeks of TV for tomorrow night and next week. So I don't want to get super detailed because I don't want to spoil it for people.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, you don't say exactly what happened, but
right. Yeah, so I got a comp ticket because Dylan Hager knows people.
Attaboy.
Got in TNA Nashville.
I didn't even know that, you snake.
Yeah, I kind of kids fizz here. I think it was called the Pinnacle or something. Just a small, just what you were just talking about, DB.
Mm-hmm.
A small theater downtown Nashville. From where I was sitting, I couldn't really see like the balcony, but it felt like it was packed. Good, large crowd. They had I don't know what to call these. I call them app specials. They're not really pay-per-views.
Right.
You don't pay for them, but yeah, we'll call it a small pay-per-view on Friday night, and then TV taping Saturday. They had Jelly Roll and some other famous musician on Friday, and they had Dylan Hager on Saturday. Huge weekend for TNA. Yeah. I didn't get put on screen like Jelly Roll did, but oh well. But yeah, 2 weeks worth. Good crowd, good. The stage looked nice. Good loud crowd the whole time. They've already been advertising, this week's show. So I'll just say the guitar case casket match. Mm-hmm. They're advertising for Ali and Elijah. I'll get it right. Yeah. That is very good. A lot of good stuff on the next 2 weeks. It's not a shocker to say like 4 rows back.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, I can tell by your pictures you were somewhat close. So dope.
Yeah. Of course, the Hardys were there. That's not a huge spoiler for anything. The Hardys were there. Yeah. They put them on last. Whole crowd waited around for the Hardys, of course, and they get a huge reaction. Mickey James showed up on the pay-per-view on Friday night.
Where's
she was mentioned some.
You can't just
kidding me?
Willy-nilly out there.
That button that we're stalling for time.
Fuck me. No,
there it is.
Nope, hardcore country. There we go.
There it is. One more time for good measure.
Smile on that one.
Her name was thrown out. Some fun stuff going on there. This was my first time in Nashville. And I gotta say, I'm just a little disappointed. There's not statues of Jeff Jarrett on like every corner. I just kind of thought that's what happened in Nashville, but apparently I'm wrong. It was fun. It was a good show.
Yeah.
Jelly Roll chokeslam anybody.
Just like bronze statues all around town of like Jared's like top 5 elite guitar smashes on people.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't like go deep into downtown or nothing. I got in and out as quick as I could because I hate traffic. But like, I figured Jeff Jarrett was just like mayor of the city or something. I didn't see anything about him, but no, it was good. Just to follow up on that, I did TNA on Saturday, and then shout out Billy Starks and her whole crew. They had a show on Sunday, a girl fight show in Louisville. Rode up and checked that out. Had Athena in the main event. Good card. Good first show back for them. And yeah, that was I didn't know we were talking about it. I would have just waited. That was my good Valentine's. My good Valentine's weekend. My single guy Valentine's. I found a Buc-ee's in the middle of Kentucky. I didn't know was there. No free ads, but it's raining. It's dark. I'm having trouble seeing, and I literally just look over and see this big neon beaver head sticking up. I'm like, oh my gosh, there's a Buc-ee's, and
they're putting
pulled off the road. And,
that's the sponsor we need, bro. Imagine a shopping spree in that mother.
Yeah. It was like I don't know, 8:30 in the morning or something, and I'm coming out with a large cup of banana pudding because I'm there. Why not?
Yeah.
And,
heck yeah, man. Yeah.
I
mean, it's awesome.
It was on 65.
Yeah, man, that's cool.
What was that, Primo? Sorry.
You said it was in Kentucky and it's on 65 or what?
In Kentucky, I believe it was 65. It's like just north of Bowling Green.
Crossville, Tennessee as well.
Yeah.
All right, boys. Well, that's going to do it for the hot start. But before we go, wanted to take a second. I was looking at a lot of the statistics of, we talked about how many countries that the Sit Down Marks podcast has been listened to, and on top of countries, there's tons of cities that have been that we've been heard. You know what I'm saying? And so I was looking at them last night, and outside of the United States, the top city where our podcast is listened to is Berlin, Germany, and it has been basically from the I wouldn't say day one, because God forbid nobody was listening then, but like maybe somewhere around 50 along the way, I'm picked up, and but just want to give a quick shout out to Berlin and say we thank you, we see you, I appreciate it. You guys are out there. I don't know any of you. You know what I mean? I don't know anybody in Berlin. My wife's been to Germany. That's all I know.
Yeah, I've been to Germany. I had a great time. Beautiful country.
Yeah, my last name has some German ancestry in it. You know what I mean? But yeah, just want to say thank you. Appreciate all the downloads over the years as we approach 5 years and stuff we're talking about. Just kind of want to talk about the places and the towns that have listened to us. And if you've downloaded a podcast in a certain town, it pops up on our analytics and be like, whoa, somebody from that place is listening to us. Awesome. You know what I mean? But Berlin consistently has showed up for us, and we want to say thank you all the way over there. So appreciate you guys so much. And yeah, keep showing up for us. We really appreciate it. So maybe even one day, we'll come hang out. We're just all we need is just a little invite. There's great wrestling in Germany, so we're all Das Wonder Kid fans. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you see last episode.
If you've seen, So all right, that's enough of us rambling, man. Let's get to this dropkick discussion, Primo. But before we do, let's hear a word from the Florida man.
What's up, everybody? It's Florida Man as usual. I'm chilling in my highest high rise in all of Boca Raton, and you are listening to the Sit Down Marks podcast.
All right, dropkick discussion time, man. So we decided, why don't we take a podcast and talk about, our top 5 best baby faces in wrestling. What does that mean exactly? Who's at the forefront? Who's helping sell tickets? Who are we buying tickets to? To go see? A lot of times, it's the baby faces. Not always, but a lot of times it is. You know what I mean? Because you want to go see that good guy get his, go over on top, that kind of stuff. But, who are the wrestlers that are getting sympathy from the fans when they get beat up? Who are, essentially, the smiling faces that, they want to put on the posters of the pay-per-views and that kind of stuff. So, you get the idea. What baby faces are if you listen to this podcast. So if you don't, if you happen to be, babyface is just another word for a good guy in wrestling. So there you go.
I do have a funny story about that real quick.
Fire.
I'm not going to name any names, but one of my good friends
they're
today,
listening, aren't they?
They may be listening. I don't know. They may have stopped listening by now, but they may have also been in the chat a few minutes ago. I said baby faces, and he named a wrestler, and he's like, "Yeah, that guy's got a baby face." I was like, "That's not quite what that means," but I like that. I like that you tried.
Sure. I mean,
yes, our favorite clean-shaven, clean-cut wrestlers here. Here's what we're going for.
Yeah, I mean, yes, I mean, in the old Ricky Steamboat days, Ricky Steamboat fit all of that, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was.
Women loved him.
Yeah, right. Yeah, there's a reasons why we won't repeat them. You know what I mean? But there's reasons why.
There are reasons.
Yeah. But if you're an old listener of the podcast, there's another inside joke for you that just seems to resurface anytime we ever talk about good old Ricky. But yeah, I mean, he fit the bill, obviously. Okay, so obviously our lists aren't going to look like Ricky Steamboat, but in today's wrestling, a lot of times, we almost have a third because a lot of times we have a baby face, we have heels, right? But we have a lot of people in between, man.
Tweeners.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yes. So I tried to think about that when I tried to say, who is baby? You know what I mean? Baby. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
same.
Yeah, who's not tweening? You know what I mean? And like sometimes it's hard with say like gimmicks, right? Like say like a Darby Allin look, a Rhea Ripley look. You know what I mean? Like could big baby faces, but look at them not looking like a baby face whatsoever. You know what I mean? But like in the world of wrestling, yeah, you know what I mean? So so there can be that little, miscue screw, in there that, always kind of like throws you off. You're like, really? You just kind of think about it. So, and I had to think about these more than I thought I was going to need to. But so here's how we're going to do. We all had a top 5. So we're going to put off these top 5s, and then we're going to talk about the ones that we didn't talk about or, that didn't make the list. Maybe why, maybe why we chose not to use them. So, Primo, we're going to let you kick us off first here today, brother, as you take a swig from that Sit Down Marks koozie, my man.
That's right. Cheers. Take a swig for the working
cheers.
man.
You just made the list.
Yes, sir. So my list is I'm kind of all around, to be honest. Let's just get it right out of the way. One of my first ones that I thought of immediately, if you think of babyface, you're gonna think of QB1. You're gonna think of Cody Rhodes.
Absolutely.
He's on my list as in my top 5 right now.
Yeah.
Another one, we talked about him earlier. Fans have been pulling for him. He's a little more grizzled babyface, but LA Knight is definitely on the babyface run.
Right now,
These next 3 you guys may not have.
Okay.
Number 1 of the 3. She's one of the best in the world. She's been one of the best, and she's currently still showcasing as one of the best. Even Michael Cole says she's one of the best week in and week out, and that's Io Sky.
Yeah.
And her star is so bright right now, as far as not only are people recognizing her athleticism and how awesome she is, but she has fans behind her she always has.
Right.
I feel like it's just,
people are figuring her out, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. They're coming around on
her. My next one is a newbie to the main roster. He's freaking super athletic. You could even say he's bouncy. Javon Evans is definitely like my number 4. These aren't any number order, but he's Javon Evans is definitely right now one of the top 5 baby faces. And then my last one, he's not on the main roster. He's not in NXT. He's actually in AAA. That's Mr. Iguana. Mr. Iguana. Look, when they did Worlds Collide after WWE bought AAA.
Right. Yeah.
Since then, Mr. Iguana has been featured multiple times because he stood out to the fans. Something about him speaks to the fans. Him and Laieska, the iguana.
Yeah.
They're, awesome. And the fans love them. And I think that's my 5. A couple, I don't know. I can mention my other ones later if you guys want to go first, but I have a few honorable mentions.
Yeah, let's spit out our 5s and then we'll come back and talk about who we didn't mention. Dylan, why don't you go ahead, man?
Yeah, it's funny he mentioned Javon Evans. Javon just barely missed my top 5. I had him kind of penciled in and then thought of somebody else I wanted to put on there. Again, like Primo, I don't really have like a 5-to-1 ranking, but just 5 I have listed. I'm going to start somebody I just mentioned a second ago. I'm going to start with the Hardys. We could mention this in 2026. We could have mentioned this in 2000. The way they have right behind Primo's shoulder there. Since they've came back to TNA, all the sellouts they have had, even as a tag team, a lot of those people are there to see the Hardys. The 2 tapings I've been to in the last year, the Hardys have went on last. You always hear about the lines for the Hardys meet and greet after the show, lasting until like the wee hours of the morning. still, the sympathetic, the babyface, or the selling tickets. I felt like the Hardys need to be represented on my list. We'll say number 4. I'm going to go Eddie Kingston. Kind of like DB mentioned, like if you look at him, you might not think babyface. If you didn't hear him talk, if you just looked at the guy, you're like, oh, this big tough guy is going to be a heel. But he's super relatable with the average wrestling fan. Great talker. It doesn't sound like he's cutting a pro wrestling promo. Gets all the crowd behind him. I had to get Eddie Kingston on my list. Similar to that in WWE, I have Sami Zayn on my list. Sammy, it's funny.
Face forever, it feels like.
Yeah, and his heel run was awesome too when they finally turned him.
Right.
But now that he's back to babyface, he's really good at fighting from underneath. I think like I forget his nickname now. I almost had it. Anyway, forget about that one. Great from fighting from underneath. The crowd still loves him. The crowd still shows up to see Sammy. People were hoping he would beat Drew a couple weeks ago. If you flash back a couple years ago to the Rumble, or not the Rumble, the Chamber in Toronto, the whole crowd was hoping he would beat Roman. Had to get Sammy on my list. Then my top 2, I'm going to go like Primo. You got to have QB1. You got to have Cody Rhodes. And it's funny because
there's no doubt.
Everybody is like begging for him to turn heel, but he's
a
such a
great
good job.
heel.
Yeah. Oh, and it would be fun, I'm sure, but he's doing such a good job as a babyface right now. Again, similar to what I said about the Hardys, people selling out to see Cody. The run he had opposite Roman and The Rock, where it felt like everybody was cheering for Cody, wanting to see Cody finish his story. First time in what feels like forever, WWE had a babyface at the top that 95% of the people were actually cheering for. It wasn't like Roman's run as a babyface where everybody was like, oh, get him off my screen. Give me somebody else. It's like the girls, the guys, the kids, everybody just cheering for Cody.
And Cody's in that Cena role. He's in that, that kissing babies and shaking hands and doing all the selling the T-shirts, everything.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And the last guy I have, if you want to call him number 1, we can. Off TV right now, but getting ready to make a comeback. I have Will Ospreay on my list. The AEW, speaking personal experience, I didn't go to the AEW pay-per-view in St. Louis last fall. If Ospreay had been on there, I would have bought a ticket. People love to see this guy. Can't wait for him to be back. Similar to what I said about Eddie, like he's good at sounding relatable in his promos. He'll talk about how he's just a kid from England, wherever he's from. He'll name off the city and like get everybody behind him. It's not I'm coming back out, the super intense, super over the top babyface wrestling promo. And if you're not selling tickets again, I feel like people pour in the arenas to see Ospreay.
Absolutely.
So those were. I got some I can mention later also, but those were the 5 I had jotted down.
Yeah. Well, let me get my 5 out, and in these, are just the ones that I just absolutely feel like they're just just white meat, top baby face. Obviously QB1, Cody. I think he's just got to be at the top right now. Has been for a while. I'm gonna throw some names out there that I want to talk about that kind of on another level. How about Willow Nightingale? As far as to me, so I always kind of judge these type of characters on like. Remember when Bailey was at her most popular with the balloons and the
the hugger,
and the all that shit, man. Like Willow was there too. I think Bailey just had a bigger crowd. You know what I mean? Willow knows how to get the crowd clapping, smile really big. She looks great. Her gear's always bright. Her interest music is flowers, and you know what I mean. And like, I think she's great. Will Ospreay is in mine too. Like that guy is, he is the baby face. I feel like in a roundabout way, he was kind of like the savior to come in and like for whatever happened with Punk and the, what I mean? He came in and fixed that locker room. And now now you can argue that almost like kind of like, they're maybe not the best they've ever been, but getting there and pretty close. And, when he comes back, it's going to be even much better. You know, Will, I don't know if you guys noticed, but Will was leading off every AEW Dynamite, you know, coming out and putting on banger matches in the beginning and stuff. So, I mean, just big, huge babyface. We got to talk about Chelsea Green, boys. Chelsea Green doing the best, like, you know, she's funny, you know what I mean? Like, and that's like her main thing, I think. I mean, she can obviously wrestle and go too, but she's doing a lot for the girls, you know what I mean, and stuff right now. So I feel like she's kind of like, you know, we got to mention her, you know, in there. And then my last one, Primo's already mentioned. I think outside of a real natural white meat baby face on a Raw, other than Cody, it's LA Knight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, Roman can argue Roman, but Roman's a tweener.
He's a tweener.
He's in between.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So so let's talk about a couple that are, you know, kind of hot right now as babyfaces that we didn't talk about. You know, I really wanted to put Punk on my list.
Same.
You know what I mean? But I left him off.
I try not to think too. I try not to.
Right.
I try to be a goldfish and not think, you know, Punk's like a great heel. So you know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, I try to think that way.
You know, R-Truth has been a baby face for how long? You know what I mean? So, you know, he did some good
He's
work.
beloved.
Right. He is definitely beloved. You know, I kind of wanted to put Omega and Orange, either one of those two. Orange has been a face forever. You know, right now is Kit Wilson. Is he a face, right? Like, I mean, you know, everybody's loving it. I just wanted to say that name to get you guys to flex. So it worked. All right, carry on. Jim
I'm not gonna gyrate.
Shout out Jim.
Yeah, Jim from Facebook, also a Dreamwave front row sitter, said Cody, Truth, AJ Lee, Joe, Henry, and Oba.
Yeah.
Not bad there too.
Joe Henry was one of the ones that I was gonna say is my HMs, my honorables.
Yeah, but screw Jim because he catcalled my segment. So screw you, Jimmy. Where's my camera? Coming for you, Jimmy. I'm just kidding, buddy.
Then I have a couple more women that are rocking it, but also I think she's a sympathetic babyface, Lyra Valkyria, and then Sol Ruka is just on fire.
Yeah, she is. Yeah,
she's a beast. And then the ultimate babyface who didn't make my top 5, but he made my top 5 way back when for babyfaces of all time, and that's Rey Mysterio.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, I just to echo some of what you guys said, I had Punk on my honorable mention. I had Ray on my honorable mention, almost for what Primo said, almost for like the whole body of work. You know, we kind of said 2026, but you could put that on there. I guess I had the Hardys. I could have put Ray. Anyway, I have AJ Styles like listed, but I was like, is he active? Is he not? I don't know. Yeah. And then Santana, Mike Santana, another one, seeing what he did in TNA the past year and a half or so. I thought about adding him to the list. And one other guy I had on there and then knocked down, I think I knocked him down to put Eddie on there, was Mark Briscoe. Who doesn't love Mark Briscoe?
Yes.
And some of that gets into the real life sympathetic, you know, the whole story of Jay. But Mark can stand on his own 2 feet too. You know, it's not just like we feel bad for this guy because he lost his brother. No, we all actually love Mark Briscoe. And the promos, you know, missing his teeth and coming up with all these big words and the word of the day and, you know, going off on all these tangents. Like, who does not love Mark Briscoe? And then he gets in the ring and he's still as crazy as ever and jumping off of ladders and going through tables and whatnot. But yeah, that kind of, I did have Harley Cameron listed as an honorable, had Willow Nightingale listed as an honorable, Timeless Tony Storm.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about selling tickets. That was another one.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
And it's funny, DB, you'll appreciate this. I almost had Ricky Morton on my list. He's not on TV, but he's on the indies like every weekend.
Sure.
Still being this sympathetic babyface selling tickets. I was like,
right.
Talking about babyface, you got to have Ricky Morton, obviously.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for the Dropkick discussion. We'll see you guys. Nope. Let me rewind that. All right. Let's go. All right. Here we go. All right, that's going to do it for the Dropkick discussion of the week. It's time to go home, Primo. But before we do, let's hear a word from the driver of the number 33 Sit Down Marks podcast, Chevrolet, Dylan Picklesheimer, not Dylan on the podcast, Dylan Picklesheimer. Let's hear a word.
Hello, this is Dylan Picklesheimer, driver of the number 33 Sit Down Marks podcast, Winnebago Chevrolet in the Racing Revolution Sim Racing League, and you are listening to the number one pro wrestling podcast, the Sit Down Marks. Download on your favorite podcast platform and subscribe at sitdownmarks.com. Catch me on Wednesday nights racing live on V-Speed.
Yeah, that's every Wednesday night on The Speed. As soon as we get done here, we're going to go check out and see how he's doing in the Daytona race. Just kicked off the season, so looking forward to getting some good wins for the Sit Down Mark Chevrolet this year. So, if you got a product or service that you would like for our audience to hear, hit us up on our socials, hit us up on our emails. We'll be glad to talk to you. And remember, head on over to sitdownmarks.com and subscribe. You can follow us there as well. And we talked about Dylan. He is a iRacing, a virtual iRacer. We made like a formal announcement about us sponsoring him on our social media earlier this year. In the Racing Revolution iRacing League, it's live Wednesdays on V-Speed. That's V like Big Daddy V, Viscera. You got to talk to the rest fans. We know who Big Daddy V is, right? Yeah, Veda time. So yeah, you can check him out there on V-Speed, and I think they're like I said, live on Wednesday nights. All right, Dylan, it's time to talk about your top 3 indie shows for the weekend, man. What are the top 3 everybody's got to go see?
We picked a bad week to narrow this down to 3. It's just a absolutely loaded weekend this week. Shout out ICW.
Making you pick.
Just a quick shout. I'm going to be at AAW. Shout out them going up to see Maggie versus Heather in the Rumble. But the 3 you really got to look at. First 2 I'm going to talk about are actually on Sunday. Going to start with ETU, Expect the Unexpected. The show is called By Any Means Necessary. It'll be live on IWTV. Main event, Key to the East title. That's their big belt. It's Mike Santana defending against the legend Minoru Suzuki. Their tag titles are on the line. Been a lot of talks about First and Only as of late. The Killionaires Club, the first and only to this point tag champs at ETU. They'll be defending against their big rival Above the Rest. That's some bad blood coming over from December. Donovan Dijak versus Alec Price is on the card. Those guys tear it up together every time they get in the same ring. They have began the path to crowning their first women's champ. There's a qualifying match this week for the tournament. It's going to be Lily La Pescadita and Harleen Lopez going at it. Good card from them. ETU always delivers. Second one I want to mention, another one I'll be at this Sunday, Casa Loma Ballroom in St. Louis. It'll be a Glory Pro's 9th anniversary show. Main event is Cody Lane, one of our favorites here on the pod. Cody Lane, Coco, defending the Crown and Glory against Joey Janela. I believe it's Joey's Glory Pro debut. They're going to tear it down. They'll do something crazy, I know. Guaranteed Cody goes for some senton that's just ridiculous, but can't wait to see that one. Huge match, winner take all. It's going to be the Elegance brand, Maggie Lee and Heather Reckless defending the TNA Knockouts tag titles against Lainey Luck and Shaza McKenzie, the collab. And Lainey's Crown of Glory, the women's world crown, her women's title Glory. It will also be on the line. So if Lainey and Shaza win, they're the new TNA tag champs. If the collab wins, whoever gets the pin, they'll be the new women's champ. Lainey's the only one to ever hold that women's world title, so a lot going on in that match. Bang and Matthews are the tag champs. They're going to defend against the Hype. We've seen the Hype and Bang and Matthews tear it down at Dreamwave a couple different times. They're going to run that back at Glory Pro. And Street Fight, 2 former tag partners, Mike Outlaw and Raheem De La Suede. They're going to go at it. That is Sunday. I believe that's only being taped for their YouTube weekly show. I don't believe that's airing live now that High Spots is gone. Rest in peace. And then the last show, the number 1 show this weekend, if you will, wanted to give these guys a special shout out because at least as of now, it's wrestling, so never say never, but at least as of now, this is the last Prestige wrestling show going down Friday night. It's a Roseland 13. Man, they've had a lot of good Roseland shows, a lot of good shows in general. The main event for the world title, Kevin Blackwood defending against former champ Judas Icarus. We'll see which one of those guys is the last to leave with the title. And I believe Kevin Blackwood's also wrapping it up, if not this weekend, very soon. I think he's calling it a career. The tag title's on the line. They're calling it a construction site match. Interested to see what that means. Be the Hammer Brothers taking on Midnight Heat for the tag titles. West Coast Pro, they're going to have their women's title. Johnny Robbie was the name we all need to be looking out for. Johnny Robbie taking on Amira. Minoru Suzuki is on this one as well, taking on Matt Brannigan. Fancy Ryan Clancy is going to be on the card against a mystery opponent. And they're really hyping this up as somebody from Prestige's past that has a big history with that company. Can't wait to see who that's going to be. And last one I want to shout out, Travis Williams and Alan Angels. Travis Williams, Judas Icarus have a Sinner and Saint. They're on fire right now. That match is going to be awesome. It's going to be live and free on YouTube. That's Friday night. Those are my main three this week. That and a lot more in my preview this week. That'll be up tomorrow evening. Best place to find that is my Twitter at DHagerJ15 at DHAJER15.
All right, the latest DB's Territory Treasures is available right now, where I'm talking about one of the talent enhancers from Jim Crockett Promotions, Rocky King, and there's another one dropping next week where I'm going to be talking about the Hands of Stone, Ronnie Garvin. So make sure you check that out coming up next week. Another Dreamwave Prelude is going to drop on February 22nd. And another one's going to be coming at you sometime in March, just a couple weeks later. So make sure you go check that out. We want to thank everybody listening on all those podcast platforms, including Apple, Spotify, and everybody watching right now on YouTube and Facebook. Appreciate all the support. And we're going to be transitioning back to being live on Mondays here coming up. The volleyball season is coming to an end for my family, so we'll be moving back to our regular time, trying to come on before we'll be on an hour right before Raw comes on Monday night. So looking forward to getting back on Mondays. And I want to let you know, coming up also, another Cheap Pops is coming up in March. Primo is going to be dropping one of those. We're going to have Dreamwave promoter and owner Jay Repsol on the podcast in March.
Jay Rep.
As he talks about everything that's going to happen in Dreamwave. And like I said, the next time we are live on the flagship podcast on 3/16, give me a hell
What?
yeah.
Hell yeah.
What?
That chant has to die.
At some point, yeah. 5-year anniversary coming up, man. So make sure you tune in for that, man. We're going to, and probably coming on earlier that day too. So we might have a little bit, won't be no format that day. We're just going to be shooting the breeze. We're going to have guests coming on. I'm going to be playing some messages from some people that have been nice enough to send us some stuff. So lots of stuff going on, man. Just lots of nostalgia. Going to be bullshitting. A lot and, that kind of stuff. So if you're into it, cool, join us. If you're not, join us after. That's what we'll just have to say to that. So, all right. If you're new to the podcast, stick around. This is where we show Dylan a poster. And then he has to tell us what happened. Also, if you're watching right now on YouTube and Facebook, here's another good look at the sit down marks.
There it is.
The paint schemes there. So
Sweet ass ride.
The car there. So anyway, I am DB the Dirty Bird for Primo and Dylan. We'll see you guys next time. Thank you for tuning in, man. We really appreciate it. Stick around for the poster. Keep spreading the good word of wrestling. I'm going to be honest, I'm totally unprepared. I didn't pull the card up, but I'm going to just show you, and we're going to ride with it. Y'all might know, you might not. We'll look it up. Ready?
My
2,
anxiety gets so high for this. I just gotta say, like,
3, 2. Let the anticipation build. Build it. I'm just kidding. Here we go. There you go.
Ooh.
oh, okay, yeah. Bound for Glory 2005.
Bang.
I'm
not even going to look at the card. You know
used DVD. So Rhino wrestles 3 matches because Kevin Nash is hurt. The main event ends up being Rhino and Jeff Jarrett. To get there, Rhino has to win a 10-man gauntlet. And then earlier in the night, it's the Monsters Ball. It has Rhino, Abyss, Jeff Hardy, and Sabu. If you guys remember, like on the old TNA video packages, they show like Jeff Hardy diving off the entrance.
Yeah.
Doing a swanton. That I believe that's this show, him diving on Abyss. There's a 30-minute Iron Man match that I cannot stress enough. You need to go watch it. AJ and Daniels for the X Division title. 30-minute Iron Man. There's an Ultimate X match where the X just keeps falling off the X you take down keeps falling off the cables. It's Petey Williams and Chris Sabin and Matt Bentley. Shout out Matt Bentley. I want to say it's the Naturals and America's Most Wanted for the tag titles. Samoa Joe and Jushin Liger. So it's like right after Joe debuted, he's still undefeated. Joe and Liger. I know I'm forgetting other stuff. There's like a 4-way on the pre-show that has Aries and Roddy Strong and maybe Sanjay Dutt and maybe Alex Shelley.
That's actually correct. Yeah.
I know there's something else on the main card, but I'm blanking on that one. Monty Brown is on there against somebody. Monty Brown, Pounce,
Alpha Male.
Maybe Lance Hoyt.
Pounce.
Maybe that one could be wrong.
I think the only thing you didn't say was Team Canada 3 Live Crew.
Oh, yeah, the 3 OK. Yeah.
And then
3 Live Crew.
Diamonds in the Rough defeating Apollo, Shark Boy, and Sonny.
We all forgot about Apollo. Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
Can't forget about Apollo, man.
Yeah. Apollo and Sonny Siaki. I remember Shark Boy, but Apollo is one of those random TNA.
Sharks, everybody on the way out.
Oh, Shell, yeah.
Oh, Shell,
Oh, Shell, yeah.
Fucking Shark Boy.